Welcome to the Show Day podcast. Today is June 28th, 2019. Last night, no shows on the Drum Corps International Summer Tour. Tonight, we have 3. Action picks up big time tonight. We have one show in California, one in Pennsylvania, and also one in Muncie, Indiana. So I'll get to that plus more today on the Show Day podcast. Thanks for watching. As I said, no shows last night, and I'm just going to show the leaderboard here for a second, just to kind of get a read of where everything is at right now. Now, keep in mind, Vanguard, Blue Devils, these West Coast corps have not had a show since last Sunday. Today is now Friday, so that's a long time. Also, keep in mind, some corps, Carolina Crown's not had a show pretty much the whole week. Some of these corps, they have not competed at all in the past week or so. And you've also got corps like Blue Knights, Genesis, Pacific Crest, who make their season debuts tonight. We don't know where they lay right now. So, here's, based on most recent score, where the corps stand. The Bluecoats Boston scores seem high. Those might be inflated. They might not be. We'll just have to wait and see. Those two will be back in action for the next about week together, and then they'll go their separate ways after their East Coast part of tour. Tonight, 3 shows. First up, Drum Corps, an American Tradition in Allentown, Pennsylvania. One of the cadets' home shows. This one will get underway at about 7:30 Eastern Time with the Welcome and National Anthem. At about 7:40, the first corps will take the field, and the first corps tonight is Open Class Corps Encore from South Brunswick, New Jersey. They'll be followed at 7:56 by another Open Class ensemble, the Raiders from Burlington, New Jersey. Both those corps making their first appearance of the season. Encore, their first ever appearance as a DCI Open Class Corps. They applied to be a Open Class Corps this off-season. They were approved. About 8:15, Music City will take the field as the first World Class Corps. They're from Nashville, Tennessee. 8:32, there'll be about a 20-minute intermission. 8:52, things pick back up with the Boston Crusaders from Boston, Massachusetts. 9 and 10, the Bluecoats will be on the field. 9:28, the Cadets. About 9:46, the Cadets will perform an encore. And then at somewhere around 10 o'clock, scores will be announced from this one. Looking forward to this show. I'll be there. I'll be with my Bluecoats shirt and Cadets hat if anybody would want to say hello. The judges for this show, General Effect 1 is Mickey Kelly. General Effect 2 is Duran Thomas. Visual Proficiency Judge is Saladamo. Visual Analysis, Brett Mascaro. Color Guard, Megan McCourt. Music Brass, Dennis Argel. Music Analysis, David Orser. And Music Field Percussion is Jeff Prospery. So those are the judges for the evening. As I said, I'm really looking forward to this one, especially the second half of this show. 3 corps that could very well be in the top 7 come Indianapolis. Just a little bit more about this one. J. Bernie Crum Stadium in Allentown, Pennsylvania. J. Bernie Crum Stadium, also the host, of course, of the DCI Eastern Classic each season. The weather for Allentown, it's hot. There is an air quality alert in effect for the Eastern Pennsylvania region. About the start of the show, it'll be somewhere in the 80s and mostly sunny skies, working to nighttime and sunset. It'll be about partly cloudy, 79 by the end of the evening. Second show this evening, the premier event of the night is DCI Central Indiana in Muncie, Indiana. You can watch live on flowmarching.com. This is like the kind of premier event also of the Music for All Summer Symposium in Muncie and at Ball State University. All the kids, I believe, get tickets to this event and watch, and then the encore down here at the bottom, I believe they also play with Crown at the end of the night. Lots of stuff to watch here, though, competitively. You've got Madison Spirit Colts Phantom, Crossman, Blue Stars, and Crown at this one. Crown, of course, will win. Blue Stars, I think they'll be next. And then who is it? Is it Crossman or is it Spirit? I don't think Phantom's going to be either of them tonight. But I would think it's the Crossmen unless they are falling behind and Spirit's going ahead or anything of that sort. So I would say it's probably going to be Crown, Blue Stars, Crossman, Spirit. Even though Spirit really suffers from performance orders tonight because they're thrown in this 13, 14, 15 category where they can perform behind the Colts and the Academy on any given night. And now tonight they have to perform behind the Colts. That, of course, changes after San Antonio, but for right now, at least, that is a small issue for Spirit. It'll be about how the judges look at them versus Madison, especially, because they'll probably put them a few points ahead of Madison, with those being the first two cores they see, and then they'll base everything off of those, even though that's not what they're supposed to do, that still ends up pretty much what they're doing. So Crossman, Spirit, Phantom, most likely, and then probably Colts and Madison, but how close are the margins? Can we have any upsets? Like maybe Spirit does beat the Crossmen tonight. Who knows? Maybe the Blue Stars pull up to like a 73 or something and really shock people. It's very possible that they do that. But this is a very exciting event to it will be to break down because I'm positive it won't just be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in everything. It will get interesting. Muncie, Indiana, Schumann Stadium, Ball State University. That's where this one's held. As I said, gets underway at about 86 degrees, partly sunny skies, working down to about 80 and cloudy skies by the end of the show. There is also an air quality alert in effect here, so Allentown and Muncie both have that in effect. Doesn't really affect the cores too much, just something to take into note, really, if that was a heat advisory or excessive heat warning, I believe it's called. If it was that kind of stuff, that's the stuff that DCI looks at and says, okay, maybe we need to delay the show, maybe we need to ditch uniforms, whatever else, but doesn't look like that'll be a problem yet this season tonight. Third show, Cores at the Crest San Diego in Vista, California, hosted by Pacific Crest. This one I've put on two separate slides, and that's because there is a lot of cores here. There's 6 open class cores, and then I believe another 7. I believe that's the number of world class cores. We'll get to that in a second. So this gets underway 5 o'clock Pacific time. Around 5:10, the first open class core will take the field. Incognito from Garden Grove, California. They'll be followed by Impulse, then the Watchman from Riverside, Vessel from Long Beach, California, then Gold, the defending open class bronze medalist from San Diego, and then Golden Empire from Bakersfield at 6:25. 5 of these 6 cores, everybody excluding Golden Empire, who was at the Clovis show last week, is making their season debut this evening. What to watch for on the open class side here? The big thing to see is where does Gold really fall in, because they're my pick to win open class. I don't believe I've ever said that, but they are my pick to win open class this year. I've seen a clip of them. They sound good. Looks like they're going in the right way. Golden Empire is the only other core here, 2 of the 6 that are going to World Championships. I want Golden Empire to get up into the 50s tonight. They were at a 49 something last Friday. Get into a 53, 54, 55 this week. Vessel, Watchman, Impulse, Incognito. It's always hard to make good predictions or set goals for these guys because really come out with something different every year. The Watchmen looked to be in good shape last year. So did Impulse and Incognito. They need to keep momentum going. I've seen a little bit of Incognito from just their percussion on Instagram, and they look and sound pretty good. I'd say Incognito, I believe they usually record like a 30 something at this show. Definitely get into the 40s here would be good. Impulse, Watchman, Vessel, somewhere in those mid-40s, maybe even breaking 50. I would not be surprised to see Vessel and the Watchmen above Golden Empire. The second half of this show, Coors at the Crest San Diego, it resumes at about 7:10 with Genesis, and then the Troopers, Mandarins, Blue Knights, Santa Clara Vanguard, the Cavaliers, and Pacific Crest. Pacific Crest is the host for the evening. What to watch for here? Pacific Crest, Blue Knights, Genesis, first show of the season. First time Genesis has even been on the West Coast in a long time, if ever. Those Coors guys get their first performance under them. There's their nerves and stuff that I think they just need to get out. We saw it last week. We saw it with the Coors in Detroit. I'm sure it was out there in Madison and in Ohio on Saturday with some of those. Actually, Ohio there were none, but Madison where there were some Coors in their first performance, and then also probably in Clovis last week. And then with Music City and Spirit debuting, you get what I'm trying to say. You just have to get your first performance under you. And that, I think, is what they've got to do tonight. That's their big goal. Don't worry about scores tonight. Sure, they mean something, because if you're far behind or far ahead, sure, that's a good thing. But just get your first performance under you, Blue Knights, Pacific Crest, and Genesis, and then they'll be good to go. Vanguard, of course, looks to be the obvious winners of this event, with the Blue Devils and also the Academies absent from this one. Without the Blue Devils, Vanguard's not going to lose this show. How close can the Cavaliers come, though, especially with the Blue Devils not being there? We haven't seen just Cavaliers versus Vanguard yet. The Blue Devils have been present in all those shows that they've been at together. Who's next? Blue Knights or Mandarins? Sure, it's the Blue Knights' first show, but can they be beat by the Mandarins and then make that up? Especially if it's by a lot? Who knows? I don't know what the Blue Knights are bringing. To be honest, I haven't seen much, if anything, of their show. So, really, I'm going to be excited to see them tomorrow night with the Drum Corps at the Rose Bowl event on Flow Marching, because no one really has heard much from the Blue Knights this offseason. They start the tour late. It's just odd. But how close can they get to the Mandarins? I personally think the Mandarins beat them, one, because it's their first show, and two, because of just the fact that the Mandarin show is just so good, and it's going to take something special to beat them for 7th or 8th place. Troopers, Genesis, how close can they get? Can Pacific Crest kind of sneak in the middle there? Do they fall behind? Do they go in front? Who knows there? That's really what to watch for tonight in Vista, California. This show is at Longhorn Stadium in Vista, California. Weather for this one's actually the nicest evening out of all of them. 0% chance of rain, low 70s to the mid 60s as the show goes on. It sure looks like a great evening in California tonight. Today's question of the day is, which corps will record the highest score tonight? Leave your response in the comment section or tag me on Twitter at DrumCorpsGeek. I'd like to hear what you think about this, because will Vanguard record the highest score because of who's at their show? Will the Bluecoats or Boston record the highest score? Will Crown? I would say I think the Bluecoats do, just because of where they were, and so judges are like, okay, let's move them up just a little bit more to a 78 or 79. They were at a 78 something at this show last year. If they're above a 78, then they might be really in a good place right now. But Vanguard, Bluecoats, or Crown pretty much tonight of who out of those three will record the highest score. I personally think, as I said, the Bluecoats will. Thanks for watching the podcast today. Just a few things now. Make sure to visit my website, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com, for all the latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours, scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things Drum Corps. Make sure to follow me on numerous social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at Drum Corps Geek, and subscribe to the Show Day podcast on YouTube, where this podcast plus more will be posted as the season progresses. If you would like the podcast to be delivered to your inbox, please email me at drumcorpsgeek@gmail.com. And finally here, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Questions and comments, etc. would all be greatly appreciated. And finally, I'm super pumped to see drum corps in person tonight. I'll definitely give my kind of feedback and my thoughts tomorrow on the podcast. So if you'd like to tune in again, that'd be great. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your day.